Welcome to the FightLife podcast.
Tell me something about yourself. Tell me a bit about your story.
My name is Bobbie Pettigrew, born Bobbie Pettigrew Jr., born and raised in Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York.
Mhm.
I started boxing when I was 7 years old. Been boxing ever since. I don't know exactly the number, but I have over 100 fights,
Oh, wow.
five-time national champion, more to come, member of Team USA, and that's me.
Awesome. And you started boxing at 7 and you were competing at 8, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yeah, I was.
was that like your own choice? Did your family push you into that or?
With the motivation of my family, it was my choice, but I was motivated by my family as well.
Oh, I see. And is anyone else in your family a boxer or just interests or?
We have not necessarily a boxer, but definitely a fighting background. So
Oh, I see. Okay, that's nice. That's nice to have a kind of support in your family. So they weren't shy to see you fight or weren't scared for you or anything like that.
my mom and my grandma here and there, but over as time went on, they got used to it.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Nice. My family is a bit on the opposite side of that. They still are a bit scared of me training, but I hope with my first fight coming soon that that'll change their mind. So
Okay.
I'm curious.
More
Yeah.
experience, they'll get used to seeing you, in action, doing your thing.
hmm I hope so. Because I love the sport.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain to people who don't like fighting, but those who do, they understand you immediately.
Yeah, 100%. Those, like you said, those with not a fighting background, they're not really used to seeing too much action, so much combat. The punches, it may seem brutal to them, but
hmm
it's completely normal to us who's fighting. So,
Yeah,
as
very
time go
true.
on, yeah.
It's also, I think, certainly when sparring, like for me, the closest I've got to a fight is sparring, obviously. But those thoughts you have during sparring are what's the most interesting to me. Like you in that moment you realize how people are not as fragile as we think we are. If that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
you take it and you're still standing and you'll be like, damn, I can take some stuff.
yeah, exactly.
It's like, yeah.
You also have to be able to take a punch as you give a punch. So,
hmm
trying to hurt your part, not sparring partner, but trying to hurt the opposition in the ring, they're trying to
Yeah,
hurt
yeah.
you as well.
hmm
And they're training, if not harder, just as hard as you to be able to stay in the ring with you, compete and dominate as well. So
I
definitely
agree.
not as fragile as everyone thinks.
hmm Very true. Now I read online your nickname is Good Money. Is that
Yeah.
still? Yeah. What? How's that?
That nickname came a while ago when I started boxing, maybe even before I started boxing. My dad would always say, that's good money. Like, that was good.
Oh
And then he
yeah.
just added the money to it, like good money, like
hmm
that jab, good money, right hand, good money. I do something good, that was good money.
hmm
Not all money is good money. So,
Also
if
true. Yeah.
it's good, then it means something.
That's a sick story, man. It wasn't what I was expecting, but I like the
Yeah,
background. I like the background.
thank you.
How old are you right now?
I'm 17 years old.
Oh wow. Okay, I thought you were older than that. Damn. With the things you've accomplished at 17, that's remarkable.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. No worries. I read you're ranked third in the youth at 64 kilograms.
Yeah, at 64 and at 67.
Oh wow, nice. So that's lightweight and welterweight or junior
In
welterweight.
welterweight, yeah.
Oh yeah. And what's the weight you feel most comfortable at, or just those two?
Um, I felt on my most recent tournament, I fought at welterweight on 147, which is 67
hmm
kg.
Yeah.
Um, I was very comfortable at 67, but I felt comfortable at 64 as well. It's just
hmm
leading up to the tournament, time was a little sketchy, so I just went up, at the more comfortable weight at the moment.
Oh yeah, I see. Okay, and so do you cut a lot, or is it an easy cut for you?
Um, I wouldn't say I cut too much. Like I don't
hmm
cut as much as to make me feel drained or, it can get draining, but I don't cut too much that is unhealthy. I cut
I
enough
see. hmm
where like I'm at a point where I'm at the lowest I can get,
hmm
and I'm not trying to fight at my walk around weight because my walk around weight isn't too high, but it's just not the way I would like to fight at. So I wouldn't say I cut too much, but yeah.
I feel that. Yeah. How tall are you? I'm sorry.
5'7".
Do you think your height partially defined your fighting style, or do you think that are two separate things?
Most definitely. I'm a much shorter fighter than other guys that I fight, whether it's at lightweight or at welterweight.
Mm-hmm.
Every weight I go at, every weight I've been at, I've always been a shorter fighter, and that defines
Oh
me
yeah.
as a fighter as well because I fight the shorter fight, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily the traditional shorter fight. Trying to stay in or trying to eliminate my opponent's jab or his reach.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like to use my own jab, control the pace of the fight, unlike other shorter fighters.
Oh, I see. Yeah. That's unique. I think there aren't a lot of shorter fighters who use that strategy.
Yeah.
So that follows up to my next question. What would you say your biggest strength is? Would it be your style, or is there more something more specific that you think, well, I excel at this. This is my thing.
I would have to say between my jab and my footwork, but I also have a unique style in not telegraphing my next move or being able
Oh
to
yeah.
be not just one dimensional. I can change my fighting style to adjust to whatever opponent is in front of me.
Mm-hmm. I feel that that's one of the most important skills to have, I think, as a
Yeah.
fighter. And is that something you train, like the non-telegraphic stuff, the footwork, or is it stuff that comes natural with the way your body moves? Or
Um, it's my footwork has always been kind of natural because I did play soccer a while ago.
mm-hmm.
So I feel like my footwork came from that a little bit, but I do train to not be one dimensional and to not telegraph exactly what my next move is.
Oh yeah, any forms of drills or pad work or sparring?
Um, Shadow boxing,
Hmm.
drills as well, but shadow boxing. When you shadow boxing in your head, you implement your own fight.
Mm-hmm.
What happens next, not necessarily what exactly happens, but what can happen.
Yeah,
So
the
when you're
multiple
in the ring
outcomes. Yeah.
sparring or in a fight, um, you're basically adjusting to every style that you've already put in your mind, and 9 times out of 10, you've already fought that type of fight. Not sparring, shadow boxing.
Yeah, I understand what you're getting at. Yeah, unique perspective. I like it.
Thank you.
So I saw online you also have your own merch. Is that something you have
Yeah.
had for a while now, or is it something recent? Or
It is something recent. I've been with this company called Millions.co for
mm-hmm.
about 2 or 3 months now. So my merch has been out for about that long.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
And that is something I'm excited for. And
yeah. Mm-hmm.
as I expand my brand and my name, I want more and more people to know about the merch and buy and support stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that.
I get that. Yeah. So do you have any recent future plans, near future plans
Um,
coming up for that side of your career? Or
as far as merch,
yes, or like the
uh,
online branding, content creation, stuff like that.
um, as far as merch, I do have more merch coming out. In preparation, not in preparation, but for my fight coming up in March 5th that I
Mm-hmm.
haven't gone public with yet, but I will be this weekend.
Okay.
So the merch that I drop is and it is in my hometown, New York City. I haven't fought in New York in 5 years.
Oh wow.
So the merch I'm dropping, I will look forward to, dropping it to the public and letting all my fans and my family or
Mm-hmm.
supporters know that there is merch here and, to come out, support me fight, but as well to buy the merch, and
Mm-hmm.
coming to support me.
That's awesome. And so you say your fight was March 5th, or
Yeah.
nice. And is there something? Is there a way we can watch it online or stream or pay-per-view or
Um,
something like that?
I'm not sure exactly if this is live stream because
Oh.
usually the tournaments that I fight in are live stream, but this is a
Mm-hmm.
club show fight
Oh,
in
okay.
New York City. So I'm not sure if it will be live stream, but I know you can come in and watch the fight.
Okay, that's awesome. I'll be in New York the first 2 weeks of July. So if you have any fight or anything like that coming up, then we should maybe link up or something.
Okay.
Would be dope. Yeah. I'll
Yeah,
let you
most
know
definitely.
if I see something on your socials.
All right.
Yeah. So when did you start creating like content? Was it something you did intentionally for like growing your name and your brand, as you said, with the merch? Was it something like just a new way to express your hobby, so to say?
Um, the merch was more of another way to express and expand my brand.
Hmm.
You know, at
Mm-hmm.
this point in my career, I felt like merch was essential. And linking up with this company, Millions.co, they
Mm-hmm.
felt it was essential. And they actually reached out to me in partnering to expand my name and my brand, you know.
Nice. I love it, man. I love the style. Really, I really do.
Thank you.
It really fits, I think. Very inspiring for young fighters as well, I think, who are just starting out.
Yeah.
And I think that's the goal, if I'm not mistaken. I kind of feel the vibe that you want to inspire the new
No
fighters. Am I right?
doubt. No doubt. I definitely want to inspire and touch, because I didn't just start here. I started somewhere, and it made and the somewhere was the bottom. Until I would just want to encourage other fighters, and even not fighters, people who don't even want anything to do with boxing. I just want to inspire them, to keep fighting, to keep pushing. There is somewhere you can go with boxing, or just with keep pushing and motivating yourself.
I feel that. Really do. Awesome. So what's the end goal in like boxing or anything? You can take this question however you want. In like content creation, personal branding, or the boxing journey. You tell me.
The boxing journey, multi-weight world champion, undisputed champion. Those are interim goals. Right now, I'm aiming towards the 2024 Olympics for boxing.
Okay.
Want to achieve that goal in the 2024 Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
As far as expanding my social media, inspiring others, definitely creating something like an outreach where not just children or like people of all ages to start boxing, or even if they don't want to start boxing, to motivate them to do something better. Like I said, I come from I'm born and raised, and I still live here in Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York. And there's a picture painted of Brownsville, and I just want like that image of Brownsville to be better than the one that's painted right now.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like when you said Brownsville, I immediately thought of Mike Tyson, if I'm not mistaken. He's also from Brownsville, right?
Yeah, Mike Tyson grew up about 4 or 5 minutes from where I live right now.
Wow, that's awesome. There was another fighter who came from there as well, but I forgot his name.
Zab Judah, Danny Jacobs, Riddick Bowe.
Oh wow, more than I thought. I was thinking about another one you haven't mentioned. He's pushing online right now for a fight with Tyson. Well, Shannon
Briggs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Is it inspiring to grow up in like an environment where a lot of good fighters came from, or is it like demotivating to know what shoes you're wanting to fill up?
The bar is definitely high, and
for sure.
Referring to Brownsville, there's fighters to look up to. So, that's definitely a good thing, and is definitely motivating for me.
Okay, I see. And in or outside of Brownsville, you can choose what are fighters that you look up to, since you want to be inspiring for the younger generation. Who are fighters that you think, in terms of style or the way they carry themselves or anything like that, who inspires you?
He got a KO last week. Bruce Carrington. He's from Brownsville as well. That's like my big brother. Keyshawn Davis, Floyd Mayweather.
For sure.
Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, Canelo Alvarez, Gervonta Davis. Those are all fighters who inspire me, and their platform is big. Not just because their platform is big, but their fighting style is definitely unique to themselves.
Very true. Yeah. Like, do you take inspiration from them in terms of outside of the ring as well?
Yeah. All the fighters that I named, for the most part, are class act. Floyd Mayweather, he did have a demeanor that was pretty like immature to many, but for the most part, every one of them are businessmen, and they're class act, and they show respect outside the ring as well as inside of the ring.
Very true. Yeah, we talked about the fight you have March 5th and the Olympics. Are there any already set dates in between those two that you have coming up in terms of fights or tournaments or anything like that?
There will be USA Boxing held tournaments throughout that time. We have 2 years until then, so there will be numerous amount of tournaments held by USA Boxing and Metro itself, and that I will be competing in as well, leading up to the 2024 Olympics. As far as the Olympic trials, I think that takes place at the end of 2023.
Okay.
International tournaments I look forward into competing in. So there's
see.
definitely many tournaments and fights I will be competing in before the 24 Olympics and between this on March 5th date.
Is there an opponent that you thought, like, in terms of skill level and strategy and just like fighting style overall, is pretty close to me, or were you always like the one with the unique style that nobody feels like it's natural for them?
I have to think about that one.
Yeah, it's a complicated question. In the way I said it.
No, it's not complicated the way you worded it. I understand.
Okay.
I'm trying to review like all my fights. A fighter that has I would just have to answer like this. There's been many different fighters with unique styles that I fought. I wouldn't necessarily say one similar to mine. But there has been many unique and great boxing styles that I fought.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Do you remember like most of your fights, or is it always like an adrenaline rush and afterwards you don't remember a lot of it?
I remember most of my fights.
Okay.
I can, like, for some reason I can recite like a moment in a boxing match at any time. Maybe not for all of my fights because I don't remember all of them, but especially name-wise, all of them. But I could definitely, like, those that were not worth remembering, but the most memorable, definitely recite or like any part of a fight at any time.
Okay, wow, that's so interesting because that really depends on like the experience level you're at, I would say. Like I've only been remembering what happens during my like hard sparring sessions for about a few months now. And before that, it was just a blur if I try to remember anything I did good just to reflect myself because I don't have a chance to record in my own gym. So it's been kind of difficult for me to.
One thing that I could say that will help you is to stay calm. You know, you will always have nerves, but it's the way you control your nerves. So once you learn how to, with the experience, once you learn how to control your nerves and stuff like that, maybe your sparring or your fights won't be such a blur because you'll be calm in the moment.
Oh yeah. Okay. Awesome. I'll keep it in mind. Thank you. And now I like to play, it's not a game, but just like a fantasy question. If you would build your perfect fighter, whose chin would you want to have, whose footwork, and like all the specific points? Just build me your perfect fighter. You can take your time. This is a loaded question.
Power, I'll go with Mike Tyson for power.
Oh yeah.
Defense, Floyd Mayweather. With like the shoulder roll of James Toney a little bit. Is Floyd has a good shoulder roll, but James Toney has the best shoulder roll. Offense of Roy Jones. You know, his skill and IQ level was crazy.
Was insane, yeah.
Speed was crazy as well. The speed of Gary Russell Jr. The speed of Gary Russell Jr.
Oh yeah.
Footwork of Muhammad Ali.
For sure. And chin maybe?
The ring generalship of Terrence Crawford.
Okay. Awesome. And whose chin would you want to have? That's a difficult one, I think, because that's all relative.
Chin. There's a lot of great boxers with great chins.
Yeah. Me personally, I'd say Floyd, I think.
Floyd, I was gonna say Roberto Duran.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. That's a better one, yeah.
Yeah. The chin of Duran and his dominance as well.
Yeah, because I think chin is so relative. Like you can say he has a good chin, but if he isn't able to pronounce sentences and write words after his career, I think how good of a chin was it really?
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's why I picked Floyd, because the only time I remember him getting rocked for sure was like the Maidana, the second fight, I think.
Yeah. Floyd got rocked a couple of times against Zab Judah.
Oh, I didn't see that fight.
Maidana, Cotto, damn, what's his name? Shane Mosley. Yeah,
Those are fights I haven't seen yet. So
I think you should watch those fights.
I
Those were good.
will. I will. Last few weeks I've been on a roll, like during breakfast and such,
Yeah,
looking at Floyd fights because I just love the way he fights. It's just a lot of people call it running, but I think there's such a detail and like a level of brilliance to him when he fights. It's awesome.
yeah.
But I'm sorry for myself that I missed like the prime of his career, and I only got into boxing like when he was, I think, right a few months after the Pacquiao fight or something. I
Yeah.
really got into boxing, so
The prime of his I kind of missed the prime of his career too, because although I was boxing like during the prime of his career, I wasn't into watching boxing. I didn't start
oh
watching
yeah.
boxing until maybe about 3-4 years ago. You know, my attention span was a little short. I couldn't sit and watch a fight for
I feel
hours.
that. I
Yeah,
feel
I
that.
was a
Yeah.
kid. I was a kid. I couldn't really sit and watch a fight, or I would fall asleep while my dad is watching some fight party. I'm asleep, or
Yeah.
something like that. So
hmm
I never really watched those fights in the moment, but replay. I watch mostly all of his fights.
Yeah. I'm trying to get catch up to them right now. So yeah. How are the COVID restrictions over there right now?
In New York,
Uh-huh.
you have to be vaccinated to do almost everything.
Oh yeah, same as
For
here.
for a while in 2020, every other state was open as far as gyms. We didn't open until like the very end of 2020. So
Oh wow.
that was kind of a setback.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, how did I impact your training at all, or?
I stayed in the gym. I stayed
hmm
working out on my own as well, but it definitely was a setback because we weren't able to spar. We weren't able to go out to spar.
No.
So yeah, it kind of held us back a little bit as a New York as a whole.
Oh yeah, I see, I see. And did you learn anything like new in that period, or was it just like maintaining your conditioning, your technique?
Um, it was maintaining my conditioning, technique, and motivation for the sport itself. Um,
I feel
it
that.
was a hard COVID was a hard time to stay motivated and focused.
Very
You had to
true.
have a strong mental suit and support to be
Yeah,
able to
for
stay
sure.
motivated and focused during the time.
For sure, yeah. And do you have like equipment at home you can use, like a heavy bag and such, or?
Yeah, my dad bought me a double N bag for home, and
Oh,
I told him how to give me pads in that time. So
I
um
see. I did the same thing. Yeah.
yeah, as far as that, he helped me stay conditioned. I ran on my own
hmm
shadow box, jump rope. That for the most part, that's how I stay fit.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. I see. And did you notice like any difference during sparring after your lockdown? Since you had such a long time without sparring, did you
Yeah.
feel a difference or?
Not necessarily a difference. It was just a bit of ring rust. So
Oh, and
my
yeah.
leg, yeah, you could feel the ring rust in your legs a little bit, or even like with your not necessarily with your IQ, but with your reaction time. So
hmm Yeah. Yeah.
um adjusting to that maybe after one sparring session or maybe a couple of rounds sparring, I adjusted to that quick.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's good. Yeah. So I imagine it's like pretty much the same as over here right now in Belgium. The gyms have been closed for a long time as well. We're now open since, I'm not sure. I think May. No, earlier. Yeah, like beginning last year, I think. So, and before that, we were like 6, 7 months without anything really. We could only get out to take a walk or take a hike, go biking. So
Yeah, that
now,
must
yeah,
be tough. The
yeah, it was
restrictions
tough.
were hard, but that sounds much more than out here.
But really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. And you think New York, it's more like more people and more buildings in a smaller area, I think. Like
Yeah.
I don't live near any big city. It's just like small town and we still everything applied everywhere. So everything closed there. I'm lucky I live next to a canal here, so I had a chance to go run or meet with friends outside, but That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's tough. I mean, it was tough. It was tough. Everything's better now. If you're vaccinated, you can, as you said, almost do anything.
Yeah.
So we're glad everything's back. And for the sparring, are there any tips you can give like beginners who haven't sparred ever or just trying to get into a boxing gym or not sure, or what would you say to them?
Beginner sparrers, I would say utilize your jab. You know, the jab controls the pace of everything. If you can throw your jab, you can throw any punch. So definitely utilize your jab and work on your defense, and everything else will fall through because your defense creates your offense and jab creates everything else. So you could do everything with that.
I see. Yeah. Another question that kind of relates to it, but not entirely. Have you heard of Coach Barry Robinson?
No.
No? Oh, he's a very well sought after boxing coach, and he has like his own system. Maybe you heard of the system, A Million Styles Boxing.
No, I haven't.
No, you haven't? Oh, I'll send you a few links. It's awesome to check out. He has like an entire video course online, like teaching you and giving you a lot of drills to reinforce certain habits. And he believes you when you train something or you drill something, you must do it on both sides, like in an orthodox stance and a southpaw stance. And I was asking, do you think it's the same way, or do you think just get comfortable at fighting orthodox or southpaw and the rest will come? Or
I feel like the advice I would give to a beginner is to focus on, you know, mastering it in one stance before another. But the idea to master both at the same time is good as well, because then you won't. You will have the option to switch if you want to.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Yeah. For me personally, not mastered, but I kind of perfected the orthodox stance. And later on in my career, right now, I'm working in my southpaw stance. Although it's not perfect, I'm definitely working on it. So if I had the chance to work on both, when I first started, I definitely would have.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a step ahead if you do both at the same time.
Yeah.
But you definitely want to like try to nothing's gonna be perfect, but you definitely want to try to perfect one stance before another. On both is definitely good.
I feel that. Yeah. And is your southpaw stance now like on a level where you're confident in using it during a fight, or is it still like sparring and drilling?
Just sparring and drilling for now.
Okay.
I wouldn't start a round or fight a whole round southpaw. Or I might switch, but that's rare.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, it's not the offense that makes it difficult. I think when switching stance, it's the defense that feels so awkward in the other stance.
Yeah.
I recently started drilling it, and it's like if you try to fight Philly shell, because that's my most natural fighting style since I'm a tall guy.
Yeah.
That works for me, but when I try to do it southpaw, even in drills, I'm still struggling.
Yeah, it's like you have to adjust from having your hand one way to the same thing, the exact opposite. So
yeah, and the weight placement feels weird as well.
Yeah.
When fighting on the back foot, like normally it's your right foot that you're fighting on, so to say, and then your left foot, it feels awkward.
Yeah, I guess when fighting, if you're an orthodox fighter trying to learn southpaw, you become right foot dominant and leaning. It becomes a habit to lean on your front foot when it should be on the back foot. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
I guess for that, my advice for that would be to just perfect your balance. You have to trust in the balance on your back foot, which is now the left.
Okay, I will. Thank you. I'm taking notes mentally. I'm recording everything, so definitely going to go back to this during the training to pick up as much as I can. If there's anything that you could have done differently, like in the beginning of your boxing training or when you became a little bit older and started taking it like really, really seriously, is there anything you would have done differently?
I can't say.
That's a good thing.
I definitely fought as much as possible. I remember having fights week after week. So I can't say that. I definitely sparred a lot and trained a lot. I wouldn't say I would go back and change anything. I feel like I grew over time in the way I was supposed to grow.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I feel that's great. I mean, if you don't have any regrets, that's the best way it can go, I guess.
And maybe watching more boxing
Hmm.
growing up.
I thought you were gonna say that. Yeah.
I think about that. Maybe watching more boxing because I would have grown into the style that I'm in now much earlier
Oh yeah. Hmm. I
than right now.
understand. Yeah, that's awesome. In terms of your style, you didn't mention it literally. Do you have a more offensive style or like a more defensive style? Because I'm curious. You like to say you control the fight with your jab, but does that mean like controlling in terms of I'm choosing when to attack and put the other on the back foot, or like controlling the pace in terms of I don't let him get close, I'm on my back foot?
I'm definitely a more defensive fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm defense first, but I do control the fight or the pace of the however the fight is going with my defense and with my jab. So I do punch not whenever I feel like it, but whenever I see something, that's when I punch. Or whenever
Yeah.
there's an open, whenever I feel most dominant, or even if there's nothing happening,
Mm-hmm.
the jab is definitely key. So definitely more of a defensive fighter. I definitely try to calculate, not take too long calculating, but
Mm-hmm.
I calculate the fight.
Yeah.
And use my head and my jab to set up everything. I like to
Mm-hmm.
set things up and set those traps,
I
feint,
understand.
stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Don't take unnecessary risks. Yeah.
Yeah.
After the interview, you go in training to the gym
Yeah.
immediately, I think. Yeah. So what does your normal week look like in terms of training? I'm curious
Um,
at your level.
um, I have school from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I come home and I might take a hour nap, hour and a half, whatever the case may be. Um, I wake up and at 6 I go to the gym and I train at the gym for 2 hours so from 7 to 9. And
Mm-hmm.
I leave the gym and I go to Planet Fitness. So I go to the track and I run right after that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And like every day, or is there a
Uh
split you do, or?
in training camp in preparation for a fight every day.
Mm-hmm.
But not in preparation for a fight. I just try to stay ready maybe 3 times. I train in a boxing gym every day. But as far
Uh-huh.
as like after the gym, that might be late and I might be catching up on work and stuff. So if I don't have a fight coming up, maybe 2-3 times a week.
Oh yeah. I see. Yeah. And do you think that's the bare minimum to stay ready or to get ready or to improve? Or would you suggest another regimen for like a beginner or a person who starts taking it more seriously as of now?
If you're trying to improve, I would definitely advise to do as much as possible and whenever you can. So um if you have the whole weekdays or even the weekends to train, make sure you're training not just boxing, but you're doing cardio as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um it's definitely essential that you don't run every day, but you
Oh yeah.
can.
Mm-hmm.
Um so I definitely would say take advantage of your time if you have it. Train as much as possible and whenever you can, basically.
Oh yeah. I see. Okay. And finally, because it's almost time, what's one piece of advice you give for my first amateur fight?
Um, do you know exactly the date you're gonna fight, or do
No,
you
it's
know?
just I've worked with I switched gyms I think in September. So my coach was like, "We're gonna build you from the ground up again," because I originally started training Muay Thai.
Yeah,
It was kind of a change to make to my base, my stance, my really just everything, my weight distribution, everything.
yeah.
So it was like, I'm gonna give you an 8 to 9 month period since you have some experience before. So and then we'll see how far you are. And then usually April, May is like the fighting season here in Belgium.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping like May, June for my first amateur fight.
My advice to you is trusting your coach, trusting the work that you put in.
Mm-hmm.
I've been preaching the jab this whole call. Make sure you're
For
utilizing your
sure.
jab. You look pretty tall I'm not sure because we're on the camera, but you look
Mm-hmm.
like you have pretty long arms or you might be a significant height. So make sure
Yeah.
you utilize all your tools, trust in your defense.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to your coach. If you put as much work in as you can, as much as possible, you'll be confident in the way you fight and in the work that you put in. So once you do that, you'll be able to trust in yourself, and nerves come with it. But being nervous isn't bad. Being nervous is absolutely good. It just means that you're ready and you're excited for the fight. So
Okay, yeah.
I would just say train hard and trust in yourself, trust in your coach, and make sure you're listening and utilize that jab.
I will. Yeah, you noticed pretty good. I'm 6'3", and I think my wingspan, I measured a long time ago. It was like 80 inches, 81 inches, I think.
Yeah.
So that's the thing I've been enjoying the most, like my jab and my defense and my movement. So, but I will keep those things in mind for sure. For sure. Thank you. I really enjoyed it. I had fun.
Thank you. Me too.
So if you like, we can do this again if we both have a little more time.
Yeah, just hit me up on Instagram. Just let me know. We could definitely set this up again.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you very much.
No problem. All right. See you.
All right. Yeah. See you. Good luck, man.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye-bye.